Field offices. Field offices were one of the later additions that came to Toontown, being that they were released in early 2011. It was released to some rather mixed reviews. Many enjoyed the new content, but there were just as many toons that didn't quite agree with that notion. They felt that the rewards or length of time involved weren't really worth it. It almost seemed unfinished to an extent. How so? Well, let's discuss that. So according to Toontown lore, field offices exist thanks in part to the one and only Doodles. How exactly? Well, in 2010, Doodles escaped from the pet shop located in Daisy Gardens. The Toon Council mentioned hopes that they didn't wander very far considering Sellbot HQ was being so close in proximity. Naturally, things went as they feared, and one of the Doodles, which was appropriately named Sparky, managed to wander his way into Sellbot HQ and wreak havoc by chewing their way through some cables in the headquarters. This, by effect, caused the power levels in the HQ to go below normal levels. Or you could say, we're not over 9,000. Sorry, I'm terrible at comedy. And thus, Operation Storm Sellbot was begun, allowing any toon ever to enter the weakened VP and fight their way to victory. For almost a month, toons ferociously fought their way to countless victories over the VP. The Sellbots didn't particularly enjoy this outcome though. They decided in retaliation to seize an all-out war versus the toons. The Sellbots' fight back had begun. For several weeks there were non-stop mega invasions of Sellbots. The Sellbots that caused the most havoc amongst toons would be declared the best of the Sellbots and become rewarded with their own special reward delivered from the Vice President himself. After the Cog Massacre, Mover and Shakers proved to be the most triumphant Sellbot of the event. They managed to distinguish themselves by stealing one of the toons' most favorite commodity, their jokes. Since the Movers and Shakers proved their worth, the VP decided that they earned their prize. It was revealed to be a new type of cog building, a field office, a multi-leveled cog building with new features and a shopkeeper being held hostage. These field offices added a new form of building style battling with a mild reward, but weren't really viewed as a very extensive or needed update to many people. It just seemed rather unnecessary, and the SOS rewards really weren't what people were really looking for. It seems like there should have been more to field offices. And there was going to be. In the Toontown phase files after the release of Sellbot field offices, you could find models and files for Lawbot field offices. In fact, it was nearly 100% completed but was never released on Toontown Online. The Lawbot field offices being rewarded to the Legal Eagles. In Lawbot field offices, you would enter the elevator and be transported to an office room. The objective of this first room is to use your propellers to fly across the room, dodging cogs and safely reaching the ending area before the timer runs out. Also collecting memos in the air as they're essential to the next floor of the field office. On the next floor would be a stomper room containing a multitude of laugh barrels. If you didn't collect enough memos from the first floor, the amount of laugh barrels would vary, as some would be destroyed unless you collected enough memos. Collect as many laugh points from these barrels as you can until the cogs arrive, which you then promptly battle and defeat. Nothing else was really included in the phase files, and there wasn't really any talks about Cashbot or Bossbot field offices. Not at least very publicly. But they did exist, in some form or another. Let's start with Bossbot. Not too much is known from Bossbot field offices per se, but in Toontown's code you can find that there's mention of toons crashing a meeting, and thereby getting destruction memos and sliding through to save the laugh barrels. However, in a very rare photo obtained from the Disney Quality Assurance server, there's a screenshot of a toon playing golf in a supposed early form of a Bossbot field office. Besides this information, however, there's not much else out there known about Bossbot field offices. No gameplay, no models, and no indication on what cog would run these field offices. So, the only thing left to cover is Cashbot field offices. So there's multiple things I can tell you about Cashbot field offices with some form of certainty. In these concept images from art director Jay Friedman, you can see what the basis of Cashbot field offices were about. In the code it mentions using the cranes to essentially destroy money bags full of coins to prevent the cogs from destroying laugh barrels. I think it's safe to say also by deduction that this would most likely be a money bags dedicated field office. If you want to see more of what maybe could have been, over on Sketchfab, a user by the name of Sweet Rat built 3D models based on the concept art from Jay Friedman, as well as using files from the Lawbot field office. It looks amazing and it's fun to view and think about what could have really been. And last but not least, why did Toontown abruptly stop before even Lawbot field offices could get released? the same reason everything else seemed to stop. Development of field offices happened right smack in the middle of the time Disney decided to cut way back on development and ultimately staff in favor of Club Penguin and other mobile games, thus leaving the Lobot field offices unfinished and the others as mere concepts. I hope you enjoyed learning in depth about this mystery, and maybe it solved curiosity for some. If you have your own mysteries you think I should cover, and it can be absolutely anything, leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to respond. Thanks everyone for watching. Do you like what you see? Want to help me in making videos just like this one? Help support me and my videos by joining my Patreon. It's a funding website designed to allow YouTube creators just like me to gain support to be able to produce videos regularly. So if you enjoy my videos, it would mean the world to me if you could lend a hand to help me make more. I want to thank you all for watching my videos, I want to thank you all for the support, and I'll see you in my next video.